This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
Welcome to the Stop Losing Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie.
It's him.
Okay, I forgot my mouse. I got my new computer set up. It's not quite as big. I'm going blind. That's a challenge. I hope you all had a great week. I had a really good week. I need to change the way I approach things because, I'm starting a conversation, but I could just jump into it. And most of the time, it's negative, bad news. Not to really start off because it was a good week, but the news is horrifying. Anyway, the news is horrifying. It looks like it worked. Either way. I mean, obviously, the number one goal failed, but they're trying to push us in and doing something stupid. And they'll disarm us. I think that's the plan. It's truly terrible. I don't even I'm not going to try to cover much of the Trump stuff because I'm not. There are people. Benny Johnson is great. He's doing a great job. I mean, Dan Bongino, go there. Megyn Kelly's pretty good. I mean, she's just good on the reporting of it. But Bongino being ex-Secret Service, and I mean Benny Johnson is just dog with a bone. Is what he said just a moment ago. I'm not gonna play Benny Johnson or Dan Bongino and then have you listen to what I have to say about it. I think those guys are great. Check them out. I mean, and I used to not really like Dan Bongino. I respected him. Ideologically, I was fine. I didn't disagree with him on anything that I know of. His accent, kind of the way he came off, didn't like it. But then now it's we need him. we need his insight, and I got past his accent. It's fine. So this is very interesting here. Cori Bush, who's kind of a radical from the Ferguson area, the whole Ferguson thing in St. Louis, and she was kind of a new member of the squad. And the St. Louis Post-Dispatch was a pretty left-wing newspaper, pretty liberal. I'd say. I mean, not quite. I wouldn't. And I know that's if you don't know how I'm thinking of that. No, they're not so much commie, but they're fairly liberal. Would be a better description of it. But they endorsed the primary challenger for Cori Bush. I have no idea who the primary challenger is, but that's just very interesting that they would actually go against, try to take her out. I guess maybe they think she's making St. Louis look bad. That's what I think. I haven't watched this one yet. I'm not going to cover this one. I don't even know what he's getting at.
Colorado, this is a public service announcement. I've been seeing this shit on the news for 3 days and little news clips that be sent to my email. Apparently, them Venezuelan people is posing as delivery people. Then they running in people's house. So far, I done seen somebody in Lakewood comment and somebody in the Denver area commented that they running in their house. Then they talking about they trying to snatch kids and shit. Y'all know school finna start back. Please start walking your kids to school. I don't know what type of shit y'all on. I don't give a fuck if you black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican. If I see them fucking with one of y'all kids, I'ma get up right then and there. And y'all better be prepared to do the same, because I don't know what the fuck they got going on. Bitch, not only is y'all acting crazy in our country, bitch, y'all bring this shit to our front door. Y'all better be prepared, because on my mama, I'ma fuck one of their ass up. I ain't even gonna bullshit with you. Bullshit ain't about nothing. Type of shit y'all on. So be prepared and stay on your motherfucker, man. Stay dangerous. That's all I can tell you, because I am.
Just wait till morning.
You will listen now.
It's our home, people. J.D. Vance is right. It's our home. They've allowed invaders into our home. And they sit on their palatial estates and their gates and their bodyguards. and let us fight over scraps. Henry Winkler. I once thought of a short story shortly after the death of John Ritter. And it was telling the story of Henry Winkler, upset at the death of John Ritter, went and decided to do a Fonzie-esque stunt. I don't really know where it went from there. I don't know what I did with it. Like, it was never a finished product, that's for sure. But anyway, Henry Winkler says the president has nothing to lose. He should go for the gold, starting with the highest court in the land. Hey! Oh, I don't have a sound drop. I don't have a drop of the Fonz. That's no good. So we've got G. What are you even talking about? Henry, just stop. It's embarrassing. And it's lose, not lose. And he's responded, thank you. Did he respond anymore? Oh, he's thanking people for the help with the spelling. He's interacting with people about the spelling. Not that what he said was nonsensical. Oh, Henry. Hey! Barack Obama. He came out and finally endorsed Kamala, which is so odd. I mean, like, clearly he was the only Democrat that hadn't supported her. So I guess she's got it. I guess there's not going to be a primary or even like a discussion at the DNC. They're going to make Kamala Harris president if they can. He says the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. That really doesn't mean anything if you really think about it. It sounds nice, but that doesn't really mean anything. Joe Biden has stayed true to these words again and again. Oh, is that something Joe Biden said? Oh, no wonder it doesn't make any sense. Joe Biden has stayed true to these words again and again over a lifetime of service to the American people. Thank you, POTUS. Who sent the Kamala tweet? You know what I mean? Like a half hour later? Was it Kamala herself? It could have been. Like, we think it's crazy, but they could have got in the room with him alone and said, all right, sign that. I didn't have to have him sign it, actually. It wasn't a signature. Okay, yeah, so Lily Emmons, she's from the Post Millennial. And she's always on Tim Pool. Very, very cool chick. Republicans pounce. The left's favorite line, Republicans pounce. After Netanyahu protesters burn U.S. flags and wave Hamas ones instead, and also desecrated monuments in our capital. Which, I mean, burning the U.S. flag, I mean, free speech, well, you should have, I don't know if you should be punished for it. Like, you should be shamed for it. Like, criminal prosecution, no. Shame, yes. I'm okay with shame's good. We need to we need more shame in our society. Like, well, let's bring shame back. So when the left says that Donald Trump is going to destroy democracy, what they're saying is Donald Trump is going to destroy our power. When they say our democracy, hear our power. And when they say Republicans pounce, hear that as Republicans noticed. We acknowledged it, which is us pouncing. Which I've actually just referred to myself as a Republican, and I am not. I am not a registered Republican. And, yeah, I never would be. I mean, ever. This seemed interesting. Johnny MAGA, the National Border Patrol Council president. I don't know actually what that is. It sounds like something, but I don't really know what that means.
She does not care about you. Kamala Harris knows what she needs to do. I was there. I gave her all of the policies that she needed, all of them, and she refused to implement them. She does not care about you. She does not care about the safety of this country. He does. This is the man for the presidency.
Thank you. Wow.
There's a video out there, folks. Like, if you're not really a big fan of Trump, or I mean, you just don't really sure, understandable. To some, I mean, if you don't like him or if you hate him, like, this isn't going to do anything for you. But there's a video of him out there playing golf. He plays 18 holes with somebody. It's a channel with this guy. He just plays golf with people, and then like kind of the podcast or whatever, the show is like the interaction. Like, yeah, you're watching, but you're also like listening to the dialogue. And it's actually pretty interesting. And Trump went and played golf with him. And you see Trump in a different light. You see he's just really does seem just like a normal guy. But he doesn't seem like completely different than his public image. But he does have a stage presence. But he's just a normal dude, actually. I mean, he's still Donald Trump a bit. I mean, like, you know, you can't run from that. But I'm just going through and like looking at tweets I saved, and then
I remember it well.
Inez Stepman. Maybe instead of worrying constantly about convincing the demographic of unmarried, childless women who lean heavily left to see the light, we should be pointing out to the other 3/4 electorate that already leans our way that the Democratic Party hates men. Reasonable. Dan Bongino said, "Speak up. You're running out of time. You know who you are." I'm not going to delete that. I'm going to save that one. We're going to come back to that one. Elon Musk said, America is going bankrupt. One person is saying it. One. Donald Trump will not talk about slashing. I mean, he said cut the Department of Education. That's become the thing. We'll see if that happens. And Chuck Schumer said, I am closely observing the situation in Bangladesh with deep concern. The right to peaceably assemble and protest is a cornerstone of a democratic society. Democratic. Violent repression of the student protests is wrong and will only lead to more unrest. See, like on its surface, yeah, I agree with you. But those Antifa protests that we see, there's a lot of students there. So I'm guessing our friend Chuck Schumer would also call those student protests. So I saved this one. I haven't looked into it yet. Where this cop shot a black lady, being charged with first-degree murder. On the surface, like first degree, like you think he really planned it? Like that's a big leap. I did see something like this dude's got quite a history. I haven't dug into it at all, nor have I seen it covered. But I've been kind of entrenched in Trump coverage. I mean, I guess that's a good jumping off point. Because I have no idea on I'm not going to do a quick dive into this. So the day after the head of the FBI said in front of Congress that they don't know whether it was a bullet or not that struck Trump, the FBI has now come out and said, in fact, it was. Okay, so at the protest, a police officer was roughed up. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine being in that circumstance and not being a police officer? Armed, well, I mean, armed, I'd be scared if I was armed. I don't want to hurt anybody. And being a police officer in the middle of an Antifa riot, that takes courage. And being, I mean, just cops in D.C., I mean, being a cop anywhere takes courage. I mean, like, where I live is so low crime. Like, if you're a cop, you want to be a cop in the town I live, but they just love to pull people over on the side of the highway. I mean, shit, that's scary. I mean, it's not like someone trying to hurt you, but they still. And if we didn't have police officers, just speaking traffic-wise, right? Would you feel safe on the road? Because just the mere, even though a lot of people do not obey many traffic laws, but the idea that there are that could possibly be enforced keeps people from driving even worse than they do, right? I mean, like, I speed all day long. I drive for a living. All day long. 3 to 4 miles over the speed limit. Never have I gotten pulled over. Never had a cop trail me. You know, I have a company truck, so I mean, that keeps me a little safer. Because, I mean, but let's finish this video up.
Back up! We're back, you fucking idiot! We're back! Shut the fuck up! Get the fuck off him!
That's crazy. Why was that allowed to happen? Yeah, I have real mixed feelings about police officers because, and it's, I don't know, typically people from my political perspective are like bleeding blue and rocking the Punisher crap, which is always ironic. First off, Disney killed the Marvel series that started on Netflix. It was amazing because that was associated with, you know, the Blue Lives Matter thing, which is odd because Punisher was a renegade that was not a cop. But either way. But I mean, I respect the left is trying to pervert every institution there is so it can be torn down and done with what they want. So a conservative job, I mean, it's in the title, conservative. We want to conserve what we have. Improve it. Always be improving. I'm always working on myself. You all work on yourselves, and we all work together and fix everything else up. There are a lot of bad cops out there. But thank God, an overwhelmingly amount of good cops. And even like to say good cop, I mean, I think every cop is brave. Pretty much. That's a courageous thing to step out of the door every day. And, I mean, it's like, I don't know, people who are like overly, I'm a Christian, first and foremost, right? Which means there's only been one perfect human being without sin. That is Jesus Christ. We're all sinners. And when you give sinners power and authority over other people's lives, it can be perverted because we see it in politics. We see it in politics. We see it in business. We see it on the streets in crime. Why wouldn't we see sin in other professions. And professions that are giving a badge and a gun, that's, you know. And that's what like, it's a hard balance, I think. Because, like, okay, we have to have police officers. Absolutely. I don't want to defund them. I don't want to eliminate, like, have less police by any means. We need more police. And they need to be better compensated and better trained. More training for sure. That's why we need more cops, because more time is going to be spent training. They need to be held to a higher standard. If you're going to ask more of them, you got to compensate that. But if they screw up, and not even screw up, I mean, a screw up is a mistake is a mistake. If they go too far, they should be held to a higher standard. And I don't know, maybe even like maybe they should like law enforcement should have just like the military has, there's a military police. Maybe police officers should kind of have their own justice system. Not like that they control themselves. Like, we should have input in. Like, I don't know, but like, I don't know, just kind of a different metric. I don't know. But I found like there's a YouTube channel of like a civil rights lawyer, like, and not like a radical seemingly one, probably is, but it features cops going too far. And that's what we have to accept if we want cops, because humans are imperfect, right? And now we all got phones, which is I'd rather know than not, right? So, but this is the dilemma we face in society. Okay, you have a gallon of water, and you just have a drop of poison. Look at the police force like that, possibly, right? You know, that's fine. Like, you'd rather not have that little drop of poison in there, but it's not going to kill you, and you need the water. But with that one drop, it doesn't kill you, but it does make you stronger, makes you more resistant. And that poison, it doesn't just die, it doesn't get diluted, it strengthens. And then you got 2 drops of poison and 3 drops of poison. And meanwhile, you just keep, all right, yep, you know, you make excuses, and occasionally, like, okay, you know, that one's too far, but, you know, hey. And you just keep letting more and more poison in. And what happens when it turns? What happens when it's mostly poison? That's what we have to be careful of. With our politicians, with our police officers. Obviously, it's funny because I was going to say, obviously, police officers deserve our respect far more than politicians. That's the thought I had. Is that necessarily true? That's not really necessarily true, but that's where my mind went. I mean, I guess it takes bravery to walk out the door to be a cop. It doesn't take any bravery for a politician to put on their suit and head to Washington. So yeah, I guess police officers do deserve a level of respect, for sure. I seen recently, just today actually, that Kamala Harris went to do something with Randy Weingarten, the head of the National Teachers Union, or something in that vein. And I've talked about on this show, cameras in the classroom. You know, cameras in the classroom will help students with academics, but I mean, that's not the reason I want it. Teachers, much like cops and politicians, mostly they're good. We have a functioning society. Most teachers are good, but some aren't. Because I'm not sure if the Catholic Church puts up, in its heyday, put up the numbers that the public school system does. It's true. And most of the time it's, you know, a pretty decent looking younger lady teacher and a 17-year-old dude, 16-year-old dude, something like that. And, you know, a good percentage of us think, well, we shouldn't. It's wrong. It's wrong. And that's what's getting exposed. And it's probably gets exposed because the guy can't stop talking about it. I couldn't. I'm a Christian. I'm a saved man. I can't go that way. But there's abuse happening in school systems. We have Gavin Newsom just signed a law in California that school districts, teachers, principals, whatever, no one is allowed to let parents know if a student is now identifying as trans. Well, trans has a very, very high suicide rate. And they're saying, do not tell the parents that their child is now in a higher suicide rate. Libs of TikTok exposed the amount of teachers that are encouraging students to do irreversible things to their body and to their mind. So we've got physical abuse. We've got schools protecting mental illness, encouraging mental illness. And then, we rank we're not very high, like our educational scores compared to other countries. We're not really very high, and we should be. We're America. It's crazy that we aren't. So kids are being educated. They're being abused sometimes, and they're not getting help that they need, and actually being encouraged to take their illness to another level. I unfortunately have not been able to check and go into another school board meeting since I've been to one, and I'll go back. I have been off the Facebook too, so that's one way. That's the only way I even seen it existed. And we're in summertime now, so I don't know how many meetings there are. But come fall, I'll go back. Anyway, I digress. The amount of teachers that said, "My children." They said those kids are my children. That's upsetting. Like, they just said it over and over again. Like the old Hillary line.
Everyone knows, of course, Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them.
I don't know when that was from. That clip was posted 4 years ago. I've never seen that before. I would like to save it. Save. But that's where that mindset comes from. So clearly, colleges are very left-wing. The Department of Education funds it. And then those colleges produce teachers that go to our schools and say, those are my kids. And it takes a village. I just, something like that deep inside me that just got to me. Now, y'all know, if y'all watch me, I don't have children of my own. I have a niece and nephew. And I could not love those kids more than if they were my own children. Truly, truly. But I would never dare call them my children. If I said my children in front of my brother-in-law and my sister, I probably would deserve to get punched. Those are not my children. So, I'm getting off on a tangent here, I guess. It's just, police officers and teachers are going to be so important to turn this country around. And they have to be held to high standards. They have to be. Because, like, I'm not a fan of police officers. I'm a devotee to law and order. We have to have law and order. We have to have that as a society because the left is trying to destroy it. That means that's what we need to protect. And many people on the left use police officers to enforce their rules. And that is a little scary to me. It is a little scary to me. I'm very into Jordan Peterson, and he talks about a book called Ordinary Men about some Polish police officers who were just police officers. They were ordinary men. And over time, they became a death squad, little by little. So I don't know what... I kind of like think what I would like to get back to a point, honestly. I mean, it's so hard and big. I mean, I don't live in a big city, but it still is like there's so many people. But I mean, I kind of would like to live in a place where a teacher or a police officer would walk into a restaurant and they would say, "On us, thank you." And I'm sure that probably does happen some. But we should have more reverence for people who do those jobs. Not the jobs. Not the jobs and the people who fill the jobs, I guess. I don't know. But folks, we have to have high standards in our society. We have to have law and order. Like I'm a fan of education. I'm educating myself consistently. Like I want so I'm a big education. I'm a big fan of it. We need more of it. A huge reason why we're in this position as a country is because we haven't had enough of it. Because we have ignorant voters that if they were educated better, I think they would make better decisions. I'd like to see a country that could have more homeschooling, where you could have a parent stay at home and they could have a decent life. I would like more private schools, especially of the religious sort. I want a voucher system. And I want a voucher system program to put pressure on public schools to improve their education. The stakes are too high, folks. We need education. We need law and order. And I guess we need politicians, I guess. We probably don't need so many, but we have to have high standards. We have to. So I think I've said my piece. Folks, we're in scary times. We're so close. We're so close to losing it all. Could be, I mean, the entire world could change tomorrow. We don't know. Trump's going back to Butler. He was never supposed to leave. He's never supposed to leave. We have a pathway to making America great again. Christians need to organize. You need to join other Christians. Celebrate the Lord. And build bonds. Folks, I don't think things will not stay like this. They can't. Either the machine wins and we lose liberty, and it may even feel similar, but it won't be. Or if that machine breaks That's when the real evil could come. So, all these people surrounding President Trump speaking about Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you better mean it. That could bring a great period in our country where Christians are ashamed. People realize it's something worth having in your life. We get back to family values and trying to create communities again. It doesn't seem like the most likely outcome, but it's possible and it's worth fighting for. So, folks, have a great one. I will see you next time. Bye.
This isn't helping anything.
Yeah? Well, maybe I'll just take my attitude and
Why
leave.
don't you?
I will.
Good.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!